Bonjour, peeps. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page, where I do a daily live stream around the divination cards that I draw in the morning. It's a general read. It's not as specific for individuals, but yeah, it's fun. It's good spiritual conversation, and we get to experience, it's a good word, the energy that's important for us to know about today. And so welcome. It is Saturday, January 5th, and it is another beautiful day here in Tomah, Wisconsin, where I live. It is 50 degrees. Yes, I said that. January 5th, we have 50 degrees. It almost feels like spring in the air. Now, I know that I live in Wisconsin, in northern part of Wisconsin, and tomorrow we could have, a blizzard. So I'm just appreciating the beautiful weather today and the sunshine and the blue skies. Yay. I know Paul, my husband, was out running errands and had just gotten home just before I left and was saying that, he saw people running around in shorts and no jackets and that sort of thing. So, yeah. That's us in northern Wisconsin. Right now it's like a balmy tropical breeze kind of thing happening here this afternoon. Yeah. Hey, Rochelle is here. Rochelle, hello. I missed you too. I know that you had family stuff going on, and that's good time spent with family. But yeah, we missed your presence here, and I hope you're doing better, doing well. And Julie Shumway Hill is here. Good afternoon, Julie. Good to have you here. Always good to see you in the chat. Rochelle says, it's beautiful here. You're right regarding the weather. Yeah. I mean, when I got here up to the academy, because I broadcast almost all of the shows that I do from here, the Star Nations Academy. And when I got out of the car, I should have walked up is what I should have done. But you could feel it. You could feel the spring feeling in the air, in the breeze. Right. The breeze didn't carry that northern kind of little bite to it. So that was, oh my gosh, what would that be like if we had a month of winter? That'd be like unheard of. Now, I don't ever remember it being this warm in January. Now, I could be wrong, but in Wisconsin, I've been in other places where it's been warm in January, but not in Wisconsin to have 50 degrees this time of year. Yeah. Hey, Stephanie's here too. Stephanie says, whoops, okay. Here, I was scrolling too fast. All right. I wonder why. All right, I think I have to refresh my screen, guys, okay? Because the chat room's not quite working the way it should. So I'm going to refresh my screen. I'll be gone for like a second. In the meantime, could you guys like and share the broadcast? And that way, it's a little interlude kind of thing. But I'll be right back. There. Thanks for doing and being patient with that. I know it was just a second to be gone, but sometimes the live stream chats in the studio kind of go wonky a little bit, and so that's what happened. So Stephanie is saying, just had a rather large buck, a stag, come up to my porch. Holy smokes! Now that's what you call a power animal, right? Hey, Ann, good to see you. Good to see you, Ann. Good to have you in the chat. Julie says it would match our month of summer we had. That's true. That's true. It's kind of evening out on both ends, right? Rochelle's got an icon that does, I don't think that's going to show. Angel, I think she's doing okay. Oh, really? I tell you what, I don't know. Maybe it's the warm weather, but the chat room got wonky again. Rats. Well, I tell you what, that works, but I can't show your comments. I'd have to refresh my screen again. Oh, well, I guess we'll just go without it. I'm going to like and share the broadcast. Doesn't take long. I just have to find us. There we are. And I'm going to share it to my live stream, my news feed. There we go. So I'm just going to say, hi, friends. I'm live streaming right now, and to please join me. I actually have a window open, and I think that's George barking down at the house, I think. He rarely barks, but sometimes he's such a little guy and he's got such a big bark. All right, there we go. This is, okay. I think I'm going to have to also monitor the comments on my phone. Thank you. Julie said she loved and shared. Thank you so much. Rochelle just shared it too. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate that. And I say this just about every show, is the reason why we ask you guys to like the broadcast, the live streams, is because we know that Facebook really likes the likes and likes when we share and comment on both posts and videos. And the more often we do that, the more often we're in the news feed, and there we are inundated with information, aren't we? And so you know that lots and lots of pieces of information come in every second, and so it's easy for something, a post, to get buried under so much other information. So when you like and share, we actually end up in the news feed a little bit more often. So thank you so much for doing that. Makes it easier for other souls to find us. So Stephanie shared a meme the other day about asking, it was one of the trivia questions actually, about have you grounded today, right? And where that even came from was last month in December at the 1212 Gateway during the live stream show. I was talking about the essence or the vibration of that gateway, that frequency, and what we could do at the time to accept the blessings of that gateway. And we started talking about being grounded because that way we're stronger, we're stable, we're calmer, we're ready to receive, right? We're ready to receive. And so that started 12 days of asking if anybody had done their grounding. And I was doing it like every day, practically asking the same question. And so now it's kind of gotten to be that people actually have that thought about, did I ground today? Yes, I did. I'm going to ground today, or no, I haven't, and so see, I wish I could show you the comments. Rochelle said she grounded today. Maddie's here. Can I get a read? Thanks. Actually, I don't do individual card reads, Maddie. This is more of a general one for everybody. Okay. And so with that topic of grounding, a brand new community member had made a post in reply asking. She said, I'd really enjoy listening or knowing how the show hosts, the people here at Star Nations, how do we ground? And so I had said that I would put a message out to the live stream show hosts if they could, during their live stream, share what they do to ground. Okay. And so I promised I would share mine in this particular live stream. And so here we go. Before we actually get to the cards, okay? So how I ground. Actually, I activated my Merkaba, which is an energy field around us, right? I activated my Merkaba back in 2002. And that's when we were still doing it the old way. And so my Merkaba went permanent in 2003. And so with the Merkaba, there's 5 layers of light around me. And so it already has the protection and automatically grounds me to Grandmother Earth. Yeah. And so since I got an upgrade. We're changing and evolving all the time. And back in 2012, I went to go study with Grenville Melchizedek and was trained to be one of his teachers for Awakening Illuminated Heart. And in that coursework, our Merkaba was rebooted and upgraded. We call it the 2.0. It's actually the one, it's created from our heart rather than just our mind. Okay. And so with the Merkaba, the grounding is automatic. And so, but I still turn my attention to it. I still go in and I scan. Am I grounded? Do I feel grounded? Because sometimes what happens is there's life lessons that come through, and I have to check to make sure that my chakras are all balanced and aligned, spinning at the optimum ratio, and that I'm grounded. And so, it just takes a moment to do that scan. What does it feel like? And if it feels off, what I can do then is to do an additional grounding, just so that I can feel the connection to Grandmother Earth, right? So the Merkaba is actually is constant. It's constant. Many other methods or techniques in grounding and protection last only 12 hours. And so every 12 hours you have to renew it, right? Which is good. It's a good thing. It's a good habit to get into. With the Merkaba, it's constant. I just turn my attention to it just to feel it, just to remember that it's there, right? So that is my grounding and protection. Now, before I activated my Merkaba, the kind of grounding that I did was actually to do that scan. Okay, is to sense where does it feel like I'm off, right? So I was starting at the crown chakra and just sensing, turning inward and sensing each one of the chakras. And if it felt different, if it felt like it was stuck, that's my own word for it, because they never stop spinning, but it didn't feel right? Okay, so when I would do my grounding, I would run the creator energy down through my crown chakra, down through each chakra, and then when I got to my root chakra, is sensing that golden light, that creator energy running down my legs, and down through my feet, and grounding me to Grandmother Earth, and actually sensing or feeling that energy with my energy going down into Grandmother Earth. That was my grounding. And sometimes, on the fly, if I was traveling someplace, I was someplace other than home. Sometimes it was just to go stand out on a patch of grass or by a tree and asking for assistance to do the grounding. And it's immediate. It doesn't take more than a breath for that to occur. And so that's how I did that. So Andrea, if you're watching, and maybe what we'll do is, I don't know if I'm a friend yet with her. Let's see if she's in the chat. Julie. Hey, Tina's here. Hi, Tina. And Maddie, yep, we said hello. Rob Kendall's here. Hello, Rob. And okay, so I'm going to see if I'm friends with Andrea first, okay? And see if I can send her the link. No, I'm not. Dang it. Rats. All right, so we're going to have to try to remember to send her the recorded show. so that we can share with her about that grounding stuff, right? So that's mine, and we have done a grounding meditation on this daily live stream in November and December at different times, different shows. And if we have time at the end of this one, no, no. Okay, we're going to do it right now. I was going to say we can do a grounding technique after, when we get done, but no, we want to do, Spirit wants us to do it right now. And so that way you're grounded to get the information that is coming through the cards. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. And so for those of you that have done your grounding, if you can just hold the space for us, right? Hold space for us, and because it doesn't take long, and we'll get that done. All right. For those of us who haven't done the grounding today, what I'd like you to do, if you're sitting, of course you could stand if you want to do this, but if you're sitting, is to make sure that you have both feet flat on the floor. So that might mean that you have to scooch a little bit closer to the edge of your seat, especially if you're shorter, right? To make sure that your both feet are flat on the floor. Okay. And you want to have your spine as straight as possible. Sometimes, whatever you have, maybe arthritis or something like that, it's kind of hard to do that. But do the best you can. Be comfortable, but as straight as you can. What I like to do is my palms of my hands, either to have them flat on my thighs, either palm up or palm down, it doesn't matter. Okay. All right. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take a big deep breath in first and just blow it out, okay? Just to bring our presence, our thoughts to the present moment, okay? So here we go. Just really fill up your lungs as best you can, all right? And so big deep breath in. And then blowing it out. And at the bottom of that breath, just breathing easy and naturally. Okay. We're going to do that one more time. One more time. Big deep breath in, really filling up your lungs from the bottom to the top and blowing it out. And at the bottom of that breath, just breathing easy and naturally. Okay. In your imagination, imagine creator energy, God energy, flowing down to you, down through your chakras, down through your crown chakra, down through the top of your head. Okay, just sensing it, imagining what it would feel like to have the creator energy flowing down through you, down through each of your chakras, feeling it coming down through your crown chakra, your third eye, down through your throat chakra, feeling it in your heart chakra, flowing down to and through your solar plexus, down through your sacral chakra, just sensing it, noticing it, that creator energy flowing through you, feeling it flowing down through your root chakra, and sensing, feeling, seeing that creator energy flowing down through both your legs, down past your hips, your thighs, down through your knees and your calves, sensing it flowing down through your ankles, down to your feet, and through the soles of your feet, down into Grandmother Earth. And it's okay if you're like on the second floor or it's okay. Just imagine that energy flowing down, down, down into Grandmother Earth. Connecting you to Grandmother Earth. Grounding you to her, rooted to her. Imagining what that would feel like. Almost like a tree, the tree roots. Sensing, feeling, seeing what it's like to be grounded to Grandmother Earth. Cleared and balanced by the Creator. Taking a nice, easy, deep breath in. And as you exhale, coming back to the present moment, back to our daily live stream together. If you had your eyes closed, opening your eyes. Stretching, shaking out your hands. Coming back to the moment, back to the present. And as you're doing that, I'm going to refresh my screen again and see if I can't get the comments going, okay? I'll be right back. There. Let's see if it did anything for the comments. And if you could let me know that you're back, that would be great. Oh, yay. Yay. At least the comments are back for a little while. Yes, Julie is saying, I'd love to learn more about activating my Merkaba. We're going to do that. I have classes set up for 2019. There's a couple of them. I right off the top of my head, I don't know what they are. I think there's 3 different ones, one in the spring, summer, and then fall. And so we'll be doing that kind of heart work, that activation work. So, yeah. So we'll be doing that. I'm scrolling up. All right. It is invisible, Rob. You won't see this comment. It is invisible. All right. I have it up, but it is invisible. I think Be Live is having some issues today, is what I'm thinking. Yeah. It says, yeah, I think Be Live is having an issue. That's okay. We won't use them in the chat. I'll use my phone to monitor your comments, and if that, I can just read them to you. Yeah, and Rob was saying about my Merkaba as a firmware upgrade. Yes, that's exactly it, or something like it, I should say. And all good, Mary. You get the information about the card draw. And Stephanie is saying present. Mary said, thank you for helping me ground. I'm in a wheelchair, so it's difficult for me. It's okay. When you're in a wheelchair and doing that kind of grounding work, is that you can use your wheels on your wheelchair to make that connection. But when you're running the energy down through your body, down through the soles of your feet, it's okay. All you're doing is seeing, sensing that energy moving from the soles of your feet down into Grandmother Earth, right? It's the same process. It's just that your feet aren't connected to the floor. It's okay. You're just going to have to really use your imagination, use what it would feel like, what it would sense it, okay? Because the intention is the most important thing. All right, and Tina says, I've had a hard time I have a hard time imagination. And that's, well, part of that, Tina, is our training, right? From little on. It's like we're not supposed to use our imagination, or we're not supposed to daydream kind of stuff, right? That's okay. It's better that maybe it's when I say sensing, feeling, seeing, because that way we're using all of our senses, right? Some people need that to be able to imagine that connection. And so if that doesn't work for you, just try the other one. So sensing, feeling, seeing. Okay. Mary is saying, I feel wonderful. That's good. That's great. Thanks for sharing that, Mary. Rob is saying, Be Live is having volumes in one hand, one leather and politician. Yeah, probably. Rob says, I can't type. That's okay. We can't see it anyway on the screen. You can see it in the chat room, but not on the screen, on the Be Live studio. And let's see. Maria's saying, I was able to put my feet on the floor. Oh, good for you. All right. Then you were there. Andrea, hey, Andrea's here. Hey, I did catch the grounding technique you just shared. What's beautiful work. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm so glad you got here, Andrea. And Rochelle said, I daydreamed all the time as a little girl. Yeah. Yeah. I actually do that quite often right now when I'm an adult. I dream the dream. In fact, I was talking to Minnie Kansman the other day on the phone. We're good friends. We're sisters, and so we contact each other quite often. And yeah, her husband Rain wrote a book, and he's actually training out of that book. And he had that dream years and years ago. And as she was sharing it with me, I said to her, Rain's living the dream. He's living the dream. He dreamt the dream. He imagined it. He dreamed it. Now he's living it. You can't get better than that. Holy smokes. All right. Well, let's get to the card draw. And Mari's saying it was a beautiful grounding. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I am going to pass on the suggestion or request to the other show hosts, live stream show hosts here at Star Nations. If they will please share their method or technique in the grounding that they use. Okay. And because that was a great question or request, Andrea. Because you're going to see that there's many different ways, many different styles, techniques, methods. And when we're first starting out, awake on our path here on Earth in this physical body, sometimes, we just have so much information because we're searching, we're seeking. We're like a sponge, at least I was. I read a lot. I went to a lot of classes. I did a lot of meditations. And then eventually I found one or pieces and kind of knit one together myself to be able to have a good intention and meaning to me to do that, the grounding and the protection. So, yeah. And if you find one that you really, really like and it feels good to you, then that's the one to use. If there's pieces of one and pieces of another one, try it out for yourself because you're not going to hurt anything by pulling those two pieces together and grounding. Okay. The only thing that you want to do is make sure that you are an open circuit. In other words, your legs aren't crossed and your arms aren't crossed. You want to be an open circuit. Sometimes when we cross our extremities like that, yeah, it's like turning on a light switch, right? You want all the lights on. You don't want to have any of the lights off, right? Okay. Let's see. It's kind of odd. Gotta go back to my phone. Let's see. Rob is saying, I dreamed a dream in days gone by when hopes were high and life was living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. What song is that, Rob? Because, the lyrics sound familiar, but what song is that? All right, so let's get to the cards. I think your guys are good. There's a reason I think that we'll understand why my spiritual team really wanted me to do that grounding technique first. And so we may go over a couple minutes over 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock if you're in the Eastern time zone to fit everything in, but it's important that we did that. All right, so here's the first card. It's the Seer. The Seer. And see beyond the current situation. See beyond the current situation. So, this particular card, the artwork on here, really reminds me of days gone by when you'd get an appointment with a seer, a psychic medium, and you'd walk in and there would be incense burning and they'd have the crystal ball on the table and, almost like a stereotype kind of thing, more gypsy-ish or gypsy-esque. That's what this reminds me of. Here's that color blue. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this card. Even with the rings on your fingers, right? We all tend to wear certain rings with certain stones or crystals in them. And it helps us with our intuition or grounding or, we all have them. Practically all of us, I should say. I don't know if that's George barking or not, but hopefully you guys, can you hear that? Can you hear the dog barking? Because if you can, I'll get up and close the window. For those who are brand new to the live stream, we're using this deck. It's called Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray, and the artwork is by Lily Moses. We started using this brand new deck, literally brand new, just published in 2018. It was released in September, and I started using the new deck at the end of September. Yeah. All right. Oh, good. Rab says, I dreamed a dream from Les Miserables. The Les Mis. Good. And Rochelle said, that was what I thought about the lyrics. Rob, I hope that's George and not Paul. You'd have bigger problems. That's so funny. It could be George because Paul is with him right now, so they could be outside playing. Oh, good. All right. As long Rochelle says I can hear the dog, but you are louder. Okay, good. If you want me to, I can always get up and close the window. You just have to let me know. Okay. All right. So the card, the Seer, see beyond the current situation. And let me tell you, just by personal experience, when I'm grounded, I'm calmer, steady. My energy is more stable. Right? It's not like Ricochet Rabbit. And so when in intuition, when something occurs, information comes in, I can take it in more fully. Because, sometimes, whether it's information coming from the physical world or the unseen world, sometimes it can be shocking, right? When you're grounded, it doesn't mean that you don't recognize it as shocking information. It doesn't necessarily knock you off balance. You can take in the information in its wholeness and as completely as possible, and you have a more stable connection to your intuition, right? Because sometimes when we're ungrounded, our emotions are kind of like a roller coaster, right? And so it's harder to really access our intuition. I don't know, maybe, you know, if you can relate it to a time when maybe you got some of that shocking information and you know, you were emotionally a wreck, because I've been there. And it's hard to take in information, much less make any decisions. And so, but when you're grounded, it's so much easier to um, sense what's going on, what's really going on, and to be able to have that connection to your spiritual team, so you can actually call on help, have them come in and say, you say to them, you know, I need your help here. What's going on? I need to see this with some clarity. What's going on? Or maybe you need your protection up, an extra layer. And so you can call in your spiritual team and say, I need an extra layer of protection. Shields up, please. And they'll form that protective circle around you. Yeah. So being grounded and having this first card come in is see beyond the current situation. See beyond the current situation. You know, and technically, when we're talking about a seer, we're referring to somebody who is clairvoyant, meaning clear seeing. They're not necessarily, they don't see, they're seeing the unseen, not with their physical eyes, but with their third eye. Okay? They're not seeing with their physical eyes, they're seeing with their third eye. And, you know, and we all have a primary clair, you know, we call them the clairs, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. We all have them. And we have them all. We just may have access to them in different degrees. I like to call them primary, secondary, and you know, and below. Tertiary, I think that's what that word is. And so, for instance, my primary clair is clairaudient, clear hearing. My team, my spiritual team, gives me information, and it's like they're telling me a story sometimes, and to the point, so with such information that I can actually feel the emotions around it, maybe even the thoughts around it. And so it's like they're creating the story, and they're telling it to me, and I can feel every nuance of it because I'm also an empath. And so that's how I bring in primarily information. And so my secondary is the clairvoyant. Some say that if you study hard enough, you know, you're going to, because everybody wants, they think that we have to be clairvoyant. To be a true spiritual worker, to have that clairvoyancy. And for me, that's not true. That's a stereotype. Because it has more to do with your self-confidence, trusting yourself, and bringing in the intuition, bringing in the information. And so how do you learn how to trust yourself more? You start doing your own healing work. Yeah. Healing those emotional and mental traumas, and clearing away what I call the debris, right? The blocks and the interferences. Because then once you start doing that, you have more access to your spiritual gifts that you came in with, and you have more access to your intuition, meaning that your intuition is always there. It's always coming in. It just means that you are turning your attention to it and actually receiving the information more clearly. And when you do that, your self-confidence starts to increase, right? It's not necessarily your ability, because your ability is always there. It's the your self-confidence and trusting yourself. Yeah. So this is the first card, the seer. We're going to find out what Kyle has to say about the seer as soon as I check the messages. All right. Hey, Lynn Marie is here too. Hello, Lynn Marie. It's good to have you here. Let's find out what the author, Kyle Gray, has to say about the seer. He says, see beyond the current situation. Look beyond your current situation and raise your vibration and focus on love. Raise your vibration and focus on love. So you raise your vibration to an optimal level, okay, as high as you can. And then the frequency that you want to be at is love. And so when we bring ourselves to the frequency of love, a lot of that lower vibrational energy that might be around you goes away. Because the higher vibration and lower vibration can't occupy the same space. So it's a universal law. And so the one of those vibrations is going to they're going to depart. And so if you can have your frequency and the frequency of love and your vibration as high as you possibly can, that is when you are aligned. Okay. Now, does that mean that your vibration, that we're all still working on it? We really are. We're all still doing our own healing work and bringing our vibration closer and closer to that, our original vibration that we came in with as a spirit into a physical body, right? That's what we're doing here. And along the way, all those life lessons and all of that healing work. And so what is that called? That's called life. That's called life. And so just having your vibration as high as you can, and then having your frequency at the frequency of love. Does that make sense? Yeah. Hey, Susie Watts here. She's saying beautiful card. It is. The artwork on these cards are fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So Kyle goes on to say that seers are the intelligent and intuitive beings who serve as direct channels for information on what's occurring now and what's about to unfold. Their energy isn't about predicting your future, but about showing you how your intentions are creating it. Okay, I'm going to say that last piece again. It's showing you how your intentions are creating your future. A true seer will help you see that your intentions can change. Therefore, you can change your future. The message of this card is to let the clairvoyant within you rise up so that you can see the way forward for yourself with your spiritual eyes. So what he's talking about here is empowering. It's empowering because we are all intuitive. Everybody has intuition. That's what we came in with. What's the difference between us is our access to it, our intentions, right? So if you intend to have a frequency of love, then you have your thoughts about, beauty and love, and you're bringing those images that you just love about nature. Grandmother Earth and Grandfather Sky, bringing that to frequency of love. So you're intending that. And yesterday we were talking about as within, so without, as above, so below, right? About the mountains and what was that card? The Mirror Guardian, right? And so what's going on inside of us is what's reflected to us in the outside world. So if we want our outside world to change, that we're working on in the inside and bringing it to the place where what we want to create in that world outside of us to be reflected back to us. That makes sense. That's why we had to be grounded today to hear this information, so that we're actually bringing in not just the vibration of the words, but the frequency that is surrounding the message today about the seer. Okay, is that we're all intuitive. We all have gifts that we came in with. The only difference is that some have done their healing work, continue to do their healing work, to have more and more access to their gifts and more clarity with their intuition, trusting themselves with their intuition. That's the difference. And we can all do that. We can all do that. All right. Let's see. Tina's saying, yes, it does, Neshi. I feel I've reached that level of love. I expressed it out and feel it. Yes. Yep. And you know what? When you've sensed it, feel it, see it, and when your frequency drops, you can sense and feel that too. And so what Kyle is saying is that we can actually change our intention and change our future. So when we feel it drop, we have techniques. We can use the skills and classes and our education and our gifts to bring our frequency back up, because that's our choice. Yeah. Rochelle says, wow, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it does. And the thing is that I have to be thankful to my spiritual team, because they're the ones that really were very insistent that we do the grounding first before I started talking about the cards, because that way those that are hearing the message, that you're receiving it in the best way possible for yourself. So, because only you know what you need to do to bring your frequency up. Only you know what you need to do to be able to have more access to your intuition, so you can start trusting it more, right? I can't do it for you. I can help you, but I can't do it for you. Yeah. Okay, so he goes on to say that clairvoyance isn't just about predicting the future. It's about being able to see clearly enough to create your best future. You're being encouraged by your ancestral guides and angels to see beyond what you think is happening now. Okay, there's the key, to go beyond what you think is happening now. So don't allow your ego or doubts to play games with you. Instead of seeing yourself as stuck or lost, know you're an energetic holding space while the universe recalibrates a path that is more favorable to you. Angels of light are upgrading your energy so your experiences can be more enjoyable. You are moving towards something extremely uplifting and enlightening, so stay calm and keep your eyes on the prize. And that is why we had to be grounded before we started the information about the cards. Because when you're grounded, you can be calm and you can stay focused and keeping your eyes on the prize. Whatever your intention is to keep your focus on it. Okay? Yeah, it's a good card. Especially for this time of year, right? We're just past the new year. We're just in the early days of 2019, the new cycle. And so why not have a spiritual conversation about seeing beyond to see beyond the current situation, and to have a conversation about accessing our intuition, having more access to our gifts. Interesting. All right, 10 minutes. We have, okay, when I drew the cards, Seer is the first one that popped out, right? I was shuffling, it jumped out of the deck. And then the next couple of cards, literally, when they jumped out of the deck, they came out together, 3 cards, and they landed face down. And I was asking my team, when I picked them up, I was asking my team, is the second card in this group? And it was yes. And yes, it is. Okay. And so I said, so are we supposed to take the second card only, or are we using all three cards? And they said all three. And they said, just turn them over. And so I turned them over, and this is what I saw. So we have the Animal Guardian. We have Arrow. Oops. And we have the Medicine Mother. Okay. And the message on them is the Animal Guardian says, trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. When we have more access to our intuition, and we're being aware of, mindful of the synchronicities and signs, right? And we're noticing them, is to trust our instincts when we see them. So when we're grounded and we're building our trust in our intuition, this card is supporting that. Trust your instincts. You're accessing more of your intuition. And so what happens is that, for me anyway, is that this is what I used to do years and years ago. When I would get what they call a psychic hit, right? It's like when I do the clairvoyant thing, it's more like a snapshot. It's like they show me a picture and they take it away. Or it's like a camera aperture. It starts out small and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I can see the picture. And as soon as I start looking at it and jumping into my mind to analyze it, it goes closed. It's like, no, open it up. But we're building our trust in our intuition. And so I would sit back and I would watch to see how things unfold. And as they would unfold, I would get the validation of my intuition. And then at one point I realized, okay, when I do that, I'm kind of hiding. I don't, if you really trust yourself, you don't have to hide. And so the more that I was trusting my own intuition, the more I would share about it, right? It's not like trespassing, Have you ever had somebody come up to you and say, I just saw something, or I got something an intuition about you, and they share it with you and you don't know them? It's like, I didn't ask for it. So to me, that's kind of like trespassing. But if somebody asks you for assistance, and as you're conversing with them, whether it's by phone or video chat or whatever, and they've asked you, they've given you permission to share with them your intuition of the situation, right? And so rather than putting a filter on it or hiding behind something that is stopping you from accessing your intuition and sharing it. Yeah, I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to do that. And there again, it had more to do with self-confidence than anything else. Yeah. Okay. And also they want me to say that when we humans, the two-leggeds, that we're not separate from nature, that we're a part of nature. And when we don't take in and accept that we're a part of the animal kingdom, that we're cutting off our intuition. Because when you watch nature, when you watch the animals, they have no problem with sensing that they're being watched, or sensing that there's a change. They know that something's coming, they don't shut it off. It's part of their survival. And so when we hold ourselves separate from nature, we're literally truncating. We're cutting off our intuition, our instinct. But when we embrace it and we believe in our hearts that we are all related, that we're more open to our instincts and accepting that information that's coming through. Does that make sense? That we're not separate. Okay. Tina's saying, make it a goal to achieve that oneness to become whole. Yes, exactly. Okay. And Stephanie, thank you for sharing that information that you're posting there. I appreciate it. All right. And so this other card, Arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. In other words, have your protective field up, so that lower vibrational energies, they see that boundary. And when you do the boundaries, is to set them from a place of love rather than a place of fear or out of fear. A very feminine way of expressing protection is to say something like, to protect me under all conditions. To protect me under all conditions. In other words, anything that might happen. I don't have to be really, really specific. That's a very feminine way of requesting. You're not being linear about it, right? And so if you get linear about it, that's okay too. That's all right. As long as you're coming from a place of love rather than a fear. Because when you come from a place of fear and setting the boundaries, then you have to use your energy, a lot of it, to keep it in place, because those lower vibrational energies are going to take it as a challenge. And they're sometimes they turn up the heat to try to get through, right? But when you place it out of love, you don't use as much of your personal energy to hold it up, and there's not a challenge to the lower vibrations. Mm-hmm. And then you can also ask your team for help too, to hold that energy for you. All right, and here's the last card. The Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. Honor your inner knowing. I like this card. I love the artwork on this card. And she has shown up many times in our readings since September. Yeah. So with this reading, with the cards that came today, all four of them, is about how we access our intuition, our gifts, that we can see. Oops, we can see. I got to do this backwards. We can see, sense, feel the situation using our gifts, using our intuition. We can change our future. We have that ability. And the other cards are supporting that. The use of our intuition and being grounded. I like this reading today. The cards that came, a lot. There was a lot of information there, but really, when we're grounded, we're calmer, we're steadier, we have the ability, we're stronger we're stronger. And so we have the ability to take in the information that spirit is giving to us in many different ways, many layers of it, and take it in its fullness as much as possible. And we have that ability. What a blessing that is, right? Yeah. Let's see. Tina's saying something here. Tina's saying maybe that's why the natives would carry animal parts, because of spirit energy connection to them. Yeah. Yep, exactly. And we still do that today. Not necessarily just Native American, but we do that today. Many times, especially with the stones and crystals, that's why we wear the kind of jewelry that we pick. I have a moonstone ring that I wear a lot. I have bear claw. So we pick out certain energies, certain jewelry, or certain pieces of our clothing, right? Because we're drawing on the spirit or the medicine of that relative, whether it's a power animal or a totem or a crystal, or maybe it's a tree. That's why we do that, because it's a layer. It helps our personal energy, our vibration, our frequency. It assists us. Yeah, I love it. I do. Okay. Tina's saying, I really believe the stone people, believe in the stone people to help us. Yeah, and in so many ways, depending on what the intention is. What I like to do is I like to go out in nature on a hike or something like that. And in a sense, is there, the stone people, and it doesn't matter the size, is listening to the story, what they've seen in their position that they're there. So you get kind of a sense of how that area, the story has unfolded in that area. So I like that too. Anything that we shared today through the cards or the grounding, the conversation that occurred, whatever resonated with you, that felt good to you, is to please, pick it up, embrace it, and see how the energy unfolds for you for the today, and where the information was helpful in some way. And maybe you were a direct participant, or maybe you were a witness to it. Either way is good. And so if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. You can just let it lie. Maybe tomorrow or the next day, something will resonate for you. And that's okay. Maybe you're the messenger. I always say that maybe somebody that would enjoy the information, or likes this kind of conversation, and you can just share the recorded show link with them, and then you're done. Just be the messenger. Let's see what's coming up for Star Nations. I was telling, who is it, Julie, last night, I'm up to here. Can you see the fill line? Working with the January issue of Star Nations magazine. We're heading toward the finish line. We publish on January 10th. And so we're heading up on that. And so after the live stream, I have to put my blinders back on. I got to get really focused and work on the magazine. So you guys are really helpful in helping me to take a break and do something a little bit different, and then go back to the magazine to be able to finish it up. And let's see, shows that are coming up this coming week. On Tuesday, January 8th, we have 3 live stream shows for you. We have at 9 a.m. Eastern is From Star to Stone with show host Mervyn Kelly. He's across the pond. He lives in England. He's a modern day druid. And what he's going to be talking about on Tuesday is it's 2019, brand new year. What are we going to do with it? And so it should be a pretty good one, because he always has some fascinating information from a druid perspective. And then at noon is Polly Jo LeBay. And Polly Jo, it's in Chakra Sessions, and that's noon Eastern. And she's going to be sharing information about the 12 chakra system. I know. I'll be there. I want to know. It's going to be a good show. And she also does a healing meditation with that. And then Tuesday night is my weekly show from Star to Stone. And I'm going to be sharing about the upcoming January issue of Star Nations magazine, sharing a little bit of the backstories of some of the articles and about the highlighted articles. So please join me for that. And then Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is Polly Jola Bay Show, Soul Connections. And Soul Connections is all about healing. If you're an energy worker, a light worker, and you haven't done your own healing work for a while, because, a lot of times we put ourselves down lower on the list of things to do, and we kind of don't get to it. So every Wednesday, every week, Polly Jo offers the opportunity for us to come with our own healing intention, with our own spiritual team, and she provides the sacred space for it. And she and her team help us in whatever it is healing and whatever we are releasing. That's the first half of the show. The second half is an individual card read. So if you enjoy having a mini card reading, you can join Polly Jo for that. She draws a card for anybody that wants one until everybody has a card read that wants one. So sometimes we're there for an hour and a half, so be prepared. What else? I think that's it for shows on Thursday. We usually do the free mini class at the Academy the second Thursday, a month. But we're moving that back a week. And so the third Thursday we'll do the free mini class at the Academy. And Polly Jo is going to be in for that one and giving us very basic information about chakras and empath. Okay? Yay. It's going to be a good one too. All right. So please enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for tomorrow's daily card draw live stream. Bama Mina, until we see each other again. Love you guys.